One of my school teachers once said to my friend who was sitting next to me, "Good friends don't let their friends go into arts." Whenever I'm asked the question, "What do you want to study after high school?" people are almost always shocked when I say, "Music." Countless times, my response has been met with disbelief, followed by an attempt to persuade me to reconsider my decision. Why? What a waste! What are you going to do with a music degree? Do you know how hard it is to make it as a musician? I find this reaction interesting for two reasons. The first being the assumption that I have not contemplated what I want to dedicate my life to enough already. Growing up, we are constantly asked, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Yet, when we finally come up with an answer, we are sometimes treated as if musician was not one of the options. Because it isn't a stable career. Because you should just treat it as a hobby. Because you can do better. I am well aware of the challenges that I will face as a musician. However, despite the obstacles, through many heartfelt experiences, I have come to realize that I am truly passionate about making music, and that I would not be content with simply having it as a hobby on the side. In addition, classical music is a field of lifelong commitment. Developing the complex technique required and constantly pushing your limits to play your instrument at the highest possible level, mastering difficult pieces of music, and forging a personal connection to the sound that you communicate to the audience beyond the notes on the page. These are long-term projects that I personally consider to be a little bit more serious than my hobby of binge-watching Netflix. Also, people don't usually react this way towards most other career fields. But why not? In many cases, there are just as many difficulties, and this concept of stability that is so valued is never really guaranteed in anything. For instance, if someone expresses an interest in pursuing a field in the sciences, a typical reaction is, "Wow, do you want to be a doctor?" Do you know how difficult it is to become a doctor? Numerous years of rigorous studies and exams, soaring tuition fees, demanding extracurricular expectations, and an incredible amount of perseverance and dedication. And at the end of the day, anything could jeopardize your plans to become a doctor. A newly discovered phobia during your first time in the surgical room, an especially competitive year for placements, or even an unfortunate accident. These examples may be extreme, but you can see how the concept of stability is really just that, a concept. Music and science both share difficult paths. In fact, there is no career field that is without difficulties. It is only through diligent work that success can be achieved in any discipline, including music. So why is it that there is such a stigma around pursuing music in particular? To be fair, the stigma is not completely unjustified or irrational. The subjectivity of music, as well as the question of income, are valid concerns. And of course, these concerns are sometimes voiced by the people who genuinely have our best interests in mind. However, the starving musician mentality that society often likes to advocate for is far from the reality. Music is not the only career with challenges, and us musicians do not naively believe that the path will be all sunshine and roses. We are acutely aware of the challenges that we will face. Despite this, we decide to continue onwards because music is such an integral aspect of our identity that we would be incomplete without it. Rather than worrying about someone who has made the decision to pursue music, try putting that energy towards addressing the widespread and often misinformed disapproval of pursuing music as a career. This disapproval has the potential to do great harm not only at the individual level, but also at a larger scale, because music is vital to the enrichment of society. It bridges cultures, fosters emotional healing, and expresses what cannot be communicated through words. It is a vessel to inspire social change and a tool to teach concentration and perseverance. It is a tool to teach concentration and perseverance. So instead of berating and looking down on musicians, we should encourage those who courageously endeavor pursuing their passion, whatever it may be, especially one that improves our society in ways that are too often undercredited. In the words of Mr. Keating from Dead Poets Society, medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, and love, these are what we stay alive for. Tonight, I will be performing Julie O by Mark Summer. Through my performance, I hope you'll be inspired to consider the impact music has in your own life and to look upon the pursuit of music through a different lens. Thank you.